Hello, everyone. Welcome to Harv's World on a Friday night impromptu casual chillin' with Adolphus Coors. Everybody, how you guys doing? Too cool. I knew I'd see you here. Can always count on Too Cool to show up. Mr. Corbin, how are you, buddy? Yeah, you mentioned before that we need to chat sometime. That's probably a good idea. We ought to catch up at some point. Um, Matthew Albert, how you doing, bud? What's the good word? Colby, hey man, what's up, dude? Sorry I haven't been in your streams lately. Been really busy. Oh, no worries, man. No worries. Totally understandable. Real life comes first, always. Jordan, the Canadian kid, how you doing, bud? How's that new apartment working out for you, Jordan? I know you were pretty excited to get going on that thing. It's benefits night? That's right. Good, Matthew. Very good. Yeah, it's banquets night. That's what you mean, too cool. I know. Friday night is banquet night. No other night of the week. Way too busy, but Friday night, I take some bloody time to myself. I didn't have to go to my job today, for I had this Friday off. But I'll tell you what, I've been going since 7:30 this morning, up until about 6:30 this evening, about an hour and a half ago. When I go grocery shopping, it's a 4 hour round trip, literally. That's no exaggeration. It's an hour to the store, an hour in the store. I usually run a couple extra errands while I'm in the big city, which is not a big city. And then it's an hour back. Oh, and I got my car washed while I was there, which was a waste of money, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, got back, got all my groceries put away, and then I started on FS22, recorded an episode of Haute Baileron. Then I switched over to FS19, set up and recorded an episode of Off the Grid. Yeah. So even my days off aren't days off. Lifehawk, you haven't missed anything. I've only been here, let's see, 5 minutes and 28 seconds so far, and 2 minutes of that was music. So I think you're all caught up. Oh, nice, Jordan. Good. I'm glad to hear that, man. Doing good, Matthew. Matthew Albert, doing very, very good. Thank you. And that's right, Steven. How are you doing? Liquid steak night. I deserve it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I deserve one night a week to just do my thing and take a little bit of time for myself. The Harv works hard. I'm too old to work this hard. Anyway, it's all good. Glad to hear it, Jordan. Good, glad to hear it. I hope. I very much hope that Too Cool is not doing what I'm doing right now. And I hope he's paying more attention to the road than he is to the stream. I really do. For his sake and all of those Texans around him. And no, I'm not mowing or baling grass tonight. Oh my god. But I am going to just throw my header on the ground. Oh yeah, it's good. I haven't had that many yet, guys. Only one. Hey, Allie, how are you? Haven't seen you in a stream in a while. I see you drop your videos in Discord from time to time. Haven't seen you in a stream, though. Good to see you again. HWH. Drink HWH and be like Harv. Well, you know what they say. You only get out of something as much as you put into it, right? Right. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. I feel perfectly entitled to a Friday night off with me, my good buddy Adolphus Coors, and you fine folks. Oh, Planet Coaster. I played a little bit of that a couple years ago. It's good. I like the Planet games. Planet Zoo is very, very good also. My friend Marilyn, the Australian, or my, as I like to call her, my mother from down under. My mother from down under. Which she gets a kick out of. Turned me on to Planet Zoo. I'm not going to say I got really far into it again because I'm just incredibly busy all the time, but it's good. It's very, very good. I wish Farm Sim had landscaping ability the way that the Planet games do. That's right, Steven. That's what she said. So it's Friday night. Everybody have a good week. I hope so. Man, there was something. I got to try to remember this at least before Sunday stream. There was something I was going to ask everybody, and I can't remember what it was now. I'm sure Lifehawk will come up with some snarky question, but that's not what it was. Anyway, I hope you guys had a good week. Mine was pretty decent. It was a short week, which is very, very nice. We had Monday was Martin Luther King Day. The one benefit I had to my grocery shopping trip today was that I got to listen to Meatloaf and the Bat Out of Hell album for 2 hours. And rest in peace, Meatloaf. A fantastic, fantastic musician who did some amazing things. One of the top-selling albums of all time is his Bat Out of Hell album. If you don't know who Meatloaf is, I can't recommend the song Bat Out of Hell enough, and Paradise by the Dashboard Lights. Those are his two big ones. He first rose to fame, actually, in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, playing Eddie and singing a song. He was also in, what's that movie I'm going to forget the name of now? His name was Robert Paulson. His name was Robert Paulson. His name was Robert Paulson. Come on, Lifehawk, help me out. I know you know. Well, Hot Patootie was the song from Rocky Horror. That's right, Ben. Fight Club. That's right. And we're not gonna do quotes from Fight Club. This is still family friendly, even though it's adult beverage night. Because his name was Bob, and we know what Bob had. Mouse, buddy, it's been a while, man. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I really, really do. That's right, Bruce. Bruce, we decided that my Fent is from now on going to be my Fent's going to be named Bruce. I feel like Fents have a very shark-like looking face. You guys have noticed, right? Every vehicle has a face, and I think the Fent looks a little bit shark-like. So the Fent 1050 is now going to be known as Bruce. Yeah, and I don't really have too much control over the whole delay, the voice delay. It's all right. We make do. We've done it many, many times. Maybe I'll have to look into that one of these days and see if there's something I can't do to change it. Everybody's usually on pretty good behavior. Oh, I don't disagree with that, Steven. The whole Bat Out of Hell album, there's not really a bad song on it. There's a few that aren't my favorites, but that album, I mean, like I said, it's one of the top selling albums of all time. People don't really buy albums anymore, they buy songs. But back in the day, you didn't have a choice. You either bought the whole album, you could buy a 45, a single, but most people ended up buying the whole album or, the CD. Oh, I did not realize that, Ben. It's been a long time since I watched Pick of Destiny. Yeah, 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad is a pretty darn good song. I also like I Would Do Anything for Love, but I won't do that. The first 2 mods are out from 82 Studios. I saw those drop today. I did see those drop today. Yeah, I do too, Matthew. It was a good question, too. It was a good get people to talk question. I'm going to have to think. Oh, absolutely, Steven. Now, I've kind of moved beyond. I mean, those of us who grew up in the 70s and 80s, I mean, that was the music that we listened to. We loved it. I've kind of moved beyond it at this point in my life, but still, I can't help but recognize the genius that's behind it. And I did enjoy going back and listening to that album. I probably haven't listened to Bat Out of Hell, the album, the song, or anything else 10 years. Yeah, probably at least 10 years. So, it is what it is. Oh, well, okay, I thought you were saying Mouse's stream, but, because Mouse streams more than anything, but of course those streams make videos, so. How goes the channel, Mouse? How are you doing? I have not had time to even think lately. It frustrates me to no end. I haven't been in Beck's Discord, which I need to stop in and say hello to everybody again. You know what? This is relaxing Friday night. This is not Harv should be worried about what he needs to do. This is just me chilling and playing my game and chatting with y'all. Kevin. I was thinking about you a lot today, Kevin. Partly because I was recording off the grid. But partly because I still have that thing I need to talk to you about. Hopefully before not too much longer, and we'll have that chat. It's a very, very good thing though. Don't panic. It's good. Oh, nice, Jordan. Bought him a record player. That's something you don't hear. Somebody bought somebody a record player. Nobody buys record players anymore. Although there are people who still believe that vinyl is the only true way to listen to quality music. Oh, you've switched over to War Thunder for now, Mouse? I know you love that game. Well, Tyler Todd, thank you so much for dropping in and letting me know. Hey, feel free to join my Discord, too. Lots and lots of people learned the game the exact same way you did, man. And they can answer your questions as well as, if not better than I can. Lots and lots of them. And they're always very friendly and helpful. So if you ever have questions, that's probably the best place to go. But I'm glad you're getting something out of my videos, man. That makes it all worthwhile, hearing from you guys about that. Mr. Koontz. I was thinking about you a lot today, too. Because I also recorded some Hope Baylor on today. Oh, not an 8-track tape. Not an 8-track tape player. I used to own an 8-track tape player before cassettes. You've got me beat if you went all the way back to reel, though. Hey, Matthew Albert. Oh, Matthew's saying hi to everybody. Sorry, Matthew. He's just saying hi to everybody who's chilling with us. Nice. It's the brake pedal, Eric. So I push the accelerator pedal to go forward, hit the brake pedal to go backwards. My thoughts, Lifehawk. I think it's about bloody time. Seriously, we've not had an Asian map of any kind all through FS19. And it's about time somebody stepped out of their comfort zone, even if it is Giants, and did one. I know the map, and don't get me wrong, I love the map makers, I love the modders. I give them all the kudos and respect that they deserve. 175%. But guys, there are more places in the world. There are way more places in the world than the North America and Europe. And they all have amazing agricultural communities. So give us some maps from those places. I've seen England. I've seen France. I've seen every conceivable place in the United States. You know, before I got my wheel, Eric, a lot of people kept telling me, use a controller. And I'm like, I'm not using a controller. And I get really adamant about it. I don't like controllers. I never did. I've played with controllers before. I'm not good with them. I am too accustomed to keyboard and mouse. Now, I'm going to say that I love my wheel and my side panel. And I think that's because it's close enough to what we use every day. Like, you know, I drive my car every day, so having the wheel with buttons I just reach over to push if I want the radio or whatever is close enough that it feels more natural to me. But controllers are completely foreign, and I never developed a like for them. So if you don't have issues playing with the controller, they can be a much better option than keyboard and mouse. And I understand the argument as to why. And yeah, I'm totally going to blow this traffic circle, and I really don't care. You know, you can turn much smoother. Keyboard is very, very jerky turning. If you go back and watch my videos before the wheel, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. And yes, I do own the flour mill here, so. I think it just depends on the quality, Bruce. Some record players sound better. I mean, you know, we didn't call, I mean, you know, when you really started getting into it, they were turntables, not just record players, and you could buy high quality styluses to play your records with, and you know, you could really start to spend money to get your vinyl quality up quite a bit. But I remember sticking a pen through the hole in the cassette tape to fast forward it or rewind it or tighten up the tape because it got too loose or strung out. Oh, okay, Eric, I understand. Well, some of them still do, Gary. There's a few that you can throw. You can hit the traffic signs on, but not many. What, Lifehawk? I couldn't hear you. I don't have sound. I'm so poor I can't even pay attention. That's a fair point. Is it real or is it Memorex? Yes, absolutely. This field got knocked out quick. Now, you all might be wondering why I'm holding on to so much money. The reason is I planted 3 cotton fields. And I haven't decided if I'm going to buy at least 1 cotton harvester. I'm going to need at least 2. That's a given. It won't be for a while, though, not this stream. But I haven't decided if I'm going to buy a cotton harvester yet or if I'm going to invest elsewhere and wait on purchasing cotton harvesters. Ethan! Ethan, I'm sorry, Ethan. I saw you come in and I didn't say hello. Good to see you, man. It has been a while. Glad you stopped in, man. Take care, bud. Harley Quinn. Put the bat away, Harley. Put it away. That's right. The first CAS 64 map has dropped. Wild West. Which I think, honestly, was probably his most popular map. I mean, I know people really got on board with his maps, but Wild West was the first one I remember hearing about, and everybody was just like, oh my god, Wild West, Wild West, Wild West. Oh, the playthrough with Sharko and Cave. Well, the difference is, Steven, I can play this map casual, so I don't have to wait. I mean, here's the thing with the map on the stream. We actually wait for streams to do most of our work. So, I mean, you're basically seeing us play in real time on that map. On this one, I've done a lot of work in between streams. Because this is just my personal, I can jump on and play for an hour here and there when I find it, and I don't have to plan for content. As counterintuitive as that may sound, you know, we don't, Caveman Sharko and I, we don't want to put on a stream where you guys don't have anything to watch. So we try to queue up to a point where we've got a good amount of work to do that is going to advance us, and then we'll stop and wait to stream that. Hey, perfect. It is on the Papa Smurf modding website, and you will need to create an account to be able to download it from there. I don't know if it's anywhere else. I would imagine Kaz probably has a link to it on his Facebook. And if somebody well, you guys won't. Kevin might be able to. It's up to Kevin if he wants to. I was going to say you guys could link those, but I think Kevin is the only one who could. And this is my big honking field. This is going to take a good long while to harvest. Harley, I've got a question for you since you're already on Wild West. Wild West 16 times is on ModHub? I didn't see that drop on ModHub. Are you talking about modhub.us? Not the official ModHub, but the ModHub, faux ModHub website. But my question is, if you're on Wild West, has Kaz incorporated new crops and everything like he did previously? Does he have his own productions on there like he did on Island Life? Oh, no goats or ducks, bummer. And for those of you who aren't familiar, Kaz likes it big. Wild West 16x map, in the lower right hand corner, the southeast corner, is a field that's over 2,000 acres. It's ridiculous how big it is. And I use that word lovingly. It is a very nice map, though. It's the first map I ever saw that actually had an interstate system on it, or at least a highway system on it. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm actually a very young FS player. Oh, nice. Okay, rice, millet, rye, and carrots. Very cool. That's right, Corey. Go big or stay home. I liked a lot of Kaz's maps. I never got to play, I never had the time to play Land Down Under. But I really liked Island Life a lot. I thought that was a very good map. I really enjoyed playing on Almost a Farm. That was a very good map. Old Timers Farm is the first map. It was Kaz 64, the first map we ever streamed on. Oh, Kaz has ventured into mining now. Interesting. You can sell copper and other things. Oh, that's interesting. Hmm. No, Corey. Kaz did not do the Yukon. I can't think of that map maker's name right now, but I'm sure somebody in the chat knows who it is. I agree with that. I agree with that absolutely. Lifehawk Mercury Farms is a great transitional map on FS19 for new players, but that was Alien Jim. Which, knowing you, man, that you might have just done that on purpose. I'm not entirely sure, but Alien Jim did Mercury Farms, or was somebody asking a question that I missed? Nope. Oh, thank you for saying that, Bruce. Thank you for saying that because you just reminded me of the question I wanted to ask everybody in chat. My sales pitch, Todd. That's absolutely true, Kev. Alien Jim does have great maps. My sales pitch for you for a new player to FS19 for getting FS22 is get as much as you can out of FS19. Right now, there's still some bugs, some things that need to be worked out in FS22. Mods are coming out very, very rapidly, much quicker than I thought they would. But they're still nowhere near FS19. FS19 is a rock solid game. It's a lot of fun. Get the most out of it before you switch over. Because once you've gotten enough out of FS19, FS22 brings in just enough differences to make the game interesting again. So, and since you just started on 19, I say play it until you're sick of it and then think about 22. Ore, bauxite, galena, silt, salt, gravel, coal, gypsum, calcium carbonate, and clean fill. It sounds to me like Kaz has been talking to the guy who does the PV Uncharted maps, or the PV maps. Honestly, that's the kind of stuff that's on the PV maps. I've never seen it anywhere else except when I played PV Uncharted. Well, they seem minor, and they probably won't sound significant when I say them out loud, but for someone who has well over 3,000 hours on FS19, it doesn't take much to make it different enough to be interesting again. With that said, the key differences are they've added some equipment, some necessary equipment for field preparation. They've changed the, what you need to do to prep your field, plant it, and get it ready for harvest. That kind of thing. So there's more that you can take advantage of. The fact that Seasons is built into FS22 now, where you had to install a mod to use that before. It's a good thing you don't have to play with Seasons. You can turn that off, which I always said from the beginning, before we even knew what was really coming, that if they incorporate Seasons into 22, it needs to be optional. Because Seasons really, really makes the game quite a bit more challenging than base gameplay. And I feel like beginners are best served by not running Seasons to start off with until they know what they're doing, and then throw Seasons into the mix, because earning money with seasonal cycles can be a real challenge. A huge challenge. So that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. They have brought in some interesting new equipment. One thing now is that all fertilizer herbicide sprayers have sectional control, so you can shut down part of it, so you're not spraying 20 meters wide. You can shut down to 2 meters wide if you want to, so you don't have to waste a bunch of herbicide or fertilizer to hit a small patch that you missed. There was something else I was just thinking of. Oh, little things like rock collecting. And obviously, productions now are built into the maps, or built into the game. So that's a big deal. Productions are probably the biggest thing for me. I really started getting into productions at FS19 because I needed something more to do than just plow, plant, harvest, feed the cows, plow, plant, harvest, sell milk, you know. So anything that could bring some new facet to the game was important to me. So after that 10-minute answer, did I answer your question? Yes, it's Friday night. Me, the banquets, you guys, and I'm just going to run off at the mouth. Take care, Matthew. Have a great night, man. Gary, they have not fixed the repair bills yet. That's one of the things that still needs to be taken care of. Hey, you're welcome, Aiden. Anytime, man. And absolutely, Kevin, without a doubt, we salute the modders every time. Honestly, Farm Sim 19 without modders would have died in about 3 months. It's the modders that bring the replayability to the game. And it's going to be the same way in FS22. Without the modders, Giants doesn't have much of a game. Okay, let me rephrase that. Giants has a very good game. Cal S, welcome to Harv's World. Thank you for subscribing. Giants has a very good game, but it's not a sustainable game without a great deal more content. And that's what the modders provide for us. Free of charge, mind you. Hey, FF, how are you doing, man? We haven't heard from you much lately, and it sounded like you had a little bit of bad news, so I hope everything's going okay for you, bud. I agree with that, Bruce. I'm happy with FS22 also. I didn't expect a perfect game. I think the people who did were being pretty naive. But that's just me. And on the plus side of that also, Bruce, is that that modders keep embracing it. There must be something about the game that really inspires modders because, I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of mods for FS19. And we're probably pushing 1,000 plus mods if you count all of the external websites and everything already for FS22. Giants currently has a list of over 1,000 waiting for testing. They're 10 days out from getting through that list, and there's more being sent to them every day. That's a fair point too, Lifehawk. There were lots of quality of life improvements in FS22. The menus are better, much more intuitive. It's really laid out very well. I totally understand, FF. We know you've been having a rough time, and I'm not trying to lay any blame on you or anything. I'm just saying we've missed having you around, bud, and I hope everything's going to be all right for you. This field is harvesting very, very nicely. Well, I can tell you, our own beloved Caveman already has 3 mods in that list of testing. And he's working on more as we speak. In fact, he just sent me a screenshot of one that he's been working on for this past week that's going to be very interesting. I'm not sure what he's going to do with it yet. His mods are available on Mod Network, by the way. Come on, Fant. This trailer's not that heavy. Oh, this is a pretty steep hill. Well, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Not going to have any trouble keeping the flour mill running, that's for sure. Yeah, since I got my job, FF, the channel's slowed down and subs have slowed down, but we're still hanging in there. We're still doing good. 150, 200 subs a month or so, so we're all right. Now, FS19 will still be a popular game for another year. At least for another year. I mean, compared to FS22, you see FS22 and FS19 sitting side by side. One of them's $19.99 and the other one's $49.99. You think, how much different can they be? I'm going to try the cheap one first. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's one person's perspective, Lifehawk. You're entitled to your opinion just like anybody else. I'm not going to say FS22 is better. I'm going to say there are aspects of it that are better. And I'm going to say it feels fresh and new because we're so used to the old game. But I'm not convinced that it's necessarily better yet. I think we got a long way to go to get to better. It's marginally better. A year from now, I expect it will most certainly be the better game. Yeah, exactly, Eric. There are plenty of people still playing FS17. There are modders who still mod for FS17. I know of one guy who quit making videos and streaming um, because, or no, he wasn't streaming, he was making videos, I think, um, because he didn't like FS19 after playing FS17 for so long. And he just said, oh, well, screw it. The guy had over 10,000 subs. He said, nah, I'm kind of done with Farm Sim. He tried to come back at one point after the game had evolved, and he didn't last long. He was actually one of the first guys that got me inspired to make videos. You miss dial-up, FF? You're so young you don't even know what a landline is, dude. What are you talking about? And no, we definitely do not miss dial-up. Although it would be kind of fun to hear the modem tones. And I'm sure you can find that sound effect somewhere on the internet. Hearing the horror stories is one thing. That doesn't mean you can put them into context. I can't believe we're even discussing landlines and dial-up modems. Comparing apples to oranges, by the way. When cell phones first came out, they weren't better than landlines either. But they eventually overtook. Oh crap, I'm full. What am I thinking? I gotta get back over to the flour mill. A 35-page fax, a 35-page blank fax. That is awesome. Oops. At least they didn't cause you to waste paper, right? Outstanding, Bruce. Outstanding. Talk about a great game too. Civilization. Great game series. Mario and his mushrooms. I think the original Farm Sim was that one that you used to play on Facebook way back in the day. You can invite friends to come onto your farm and do work for you or some goofy crap like that. I guess I could just be dumping this in my silo, but might as well get it where it belongs. Farmville, that was it. Lifehawk is like an encyclopedia of pop culture. Well, no, Eric, you don't have time to play the Civ games because you're busy doing 10,000 contracts on Farm Sim. Actually, the Civ games do take a long time to play. A single run through. Oh, I'm sure you could get a CD drive for cheap, Gary. They're in such low demand now. I would imagine they're pretty stinking cheap. I remember a bunch of sim games that you can't find anymore. Back when the sim, oh, what was there was a company that specialized in sim, and they actually did start Sim City and all of that. And I can't. Firaxis, was it Firaxis that started Sims, and then they got bought out by EA. They used to do one called Sim Tower, manage your tower, build your tower, and make people happy living in your skyscraper. 10 million in contract. That is such a dramatic goal, man. I could not do it. There's no way. Just no way I could do it. Sim Farm? Interesting. Maxis Firaxis. And it was Sid Meier was the creator. Personally, my favorite Sid Meier was Railroad Tycoon. Railroad Tycoon 2 was the best of them all. Yeah, Firaxis was the ones who was the publisher, right? But Sid Meier was on. His name was on all of the original games. Sid Meier's Civilization, Sid Meier's Railroad Tycoon, Sid Meier's Pirates. There was a pirate game. I can't remember the name of it now. Although I will say, if you enjoyed Railroad Tycoon, Railway Empire is a very, very, very good, close representation of Railroad Tycoon. Oh, okay, Eric, I got you. Gone in 60 Seconds wasn't bad, and I'm not an action movie guy. It was pretty good. I'm also not a Nicolas Cage kind of guy either, but it's still pretty good. Man, this field is producing like crazy. A console versus PC map challenge. Okay. Hey, Sharko. What's up? Oh, yeah, that's been a popular car ever since that movie came out. FF. All right, Kev, I appreciate you dropping in and hanging out for a while. I know this is the late night stream, especially for you East Coasters. I mean, I only started 8 o'clock for me. It's only 9 o'clock. But that means midnight for you folks over there, so totally get it, Kev. Have a good night, man. We need to start calling Sharko Space Lord. His theme song can be Monster Magnet Space Lord. Not Star Lord. We're not talking Guardians of the Galaxy here. Space Lord. There's actually a song called Space Lord. It's pretty good too. I like it. $12.15. Parents, do you know where your children are? Oh, Gary, you a Space Engineers fan? Sharko's doing videos on Space Engineers on his YouTube channel. The original Gone in 60 Seconds was called Gone in 240 Seconds. They were much slower cars back then. Past your bedtime. You're going to get in trouble with your mother. Oh, and on Sunday's stream, we finally found the fitting punishment for Sharko to make him pay back the 18 million. We're taking it out in labor. Bedtime is what people have when they have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work every day. You know, those of us who have to earn a living to pay rent and utilities and all of those things that adults have to pay who don't live with their parents. That's true. Sharks don't sleep, do they? No, I planted 3 fields of cotton. Oh, I see. No. We did not. We did not plant sugar beets for Sharko to harvest with a hand shovel, although that would be fitting. Hey, Farming Sins. Hey, Sharko, could you throw up that link for me? The GoFundMe link. Even though this is an impromptu casual stream, I will throw out there that Farming Sin's wife, anybody who doesn't know, was diagnosed with cancer. And that is obviously putting a big strain on their family. And so she has created a GoFundMe page to help out. And Farming Sins asked if I would not share that with you guys from time to time. And I said, of course I will. And feel free to spread the word. Share that link around anywhere you feel like it might do some good, which is just about anywhere because people can't help if they don't know, right? Thank you, Sharko. I appreciate that. Poor Sharko. Even when he's not on stream, he gets put to work. Oh, what am I talking about? Poor Sharko. He's got 18 million of my dollars. Thank you, Sharko. Thank you very, very much. And Sins, I hope your wife is doing all right, man. I know it's going to be probably a long challenge, but in general, I hope you and the family are getting along okay. And of course, your wife especially. That's right. He's paid up for life. Yes, it does, Eric. My wheel does have a suicide knob on it. In fact, I use that almost exclusively. I would never do that in real life. It doesn't feel natural in real life, but the way that I play the game, the suicide knob is hugely, hugely helpful. The real kicker to all this is all the bloody straw that comes off the field after. Uh-huh. Don't quote me on this, but I think some places have outlawed suicide knobs. There you go. Eric just backed me up on that. They were also known as wrist breakers. That's a fair point, too. Without power steering, having some kind of leverage there makes a big, big difference. I'll bet these young whippersnappers don't even know what a vehicle feels like to steer without power steering. They didn't even know there are cars without power steering. Or trucks, or tractors. I can tell you this, if you're in a vehicle without power steering, you're not going to turn the steering wheels if the car or vehicle is not in motion. I mean, you can, but you're going to bloody work hard for it. Yeah, I really think they're illegal in most places now. Nice, Sins. I remember when I bought like my first brand new car, and you had to pay extra to get an automatic transmission because stick was the norm. Now you have to pay extra to get a manual transmission. Funny how those things change over time. Right, Gary? Right? 3 on the tree. Anybody on the stream right now under 30 years old, tell me what 3 on the tree is. It wasn't terribly popular, but it was very much a real thing. Well, I sincerely hope, Sharko, that your steering is not aromatic. I never needed pre-scented steering. Well, that's 156,000 liters so far. A 66 Ford F600 4-speed, 2-speed rear axle grain truck. Oh, I would love to see that though. 14 years old, learned to drive hauling grain, ran an MF 300 combine. Bruce, I am so jealous. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I would love to have had that childhood. Oh, nice, Chris. Age to perfection. And this is all my land. I can cut across it if I want to. Hey Lee, how's it going, bud? They were terrible, would stick crawl onto the car to realign. Automatic, not aromatic. Oh, I am drinking way too slow. What do you? I've still got an unopened banquet here next to me, and that is a cardinal sin. There we go. Last one in the batter's box. This one's gone. I'll have to take a break and go get some more. Not to the store, I mean just to the fridge. And probably have a little chat with Mother Nature at the same time. On vacation in Ireland about 10 years ago, could only get a manual transmission for the car. I know how to drive manual, so no problem. I was shifting with my left hand and driving on the left side. That would, yeah, okay. That would be a little bit of a challenge. I mean, it's hard enough to think drive on the opposite side. I've screwed that up enough times during farm sim videos trying to play in Europe. But also shifting with your left hand. Yeah, no muscle memory working there. Oh, well, I'm glad you pulled through, Lee. Glad to hear it, man. Unfortunately, we were talking earlier about, rest in peace Meatloaf, and apparently it was the big C that got him. Crying shame. I really need a chaser bin driver. I really do. I guess I could send a helper to deliver. Oh well. Sharko's car doesn't have a transmission. He just uses willpower. It's all in his head. He thinks where he wants his car to go, what gear it should be in, and it automatically does it. Overseas, we can drive American-style Vics. What's a Vic? It's actually easy to get used to driving in different lane. Oh, you can, okay. American-style vehicles, so you can drive on the left. The steering wheel's on the left. I get it. Okay. Course play's not ready. And I haven't had time to... I don't have time. I keep asking you for links to mods because I don't have time to do all this anymore. I really don't. I mean, I just don't. It's probably just going to kill me over time. I mean, not me personally, but whatever. Anyway. I think I might have been a real farmer in a past life because I'm just used to doing everything myself. That's kind of true, actually. But Sharko loves the cold. He says so frequently. He loves the cold and he loves the snow. He spent 5.5 hours last week shoveling snow and thought it was the greatest thing that ever happened to him in his entire life. Sharko uses his feet. he's Sharko Flintstone. It's always been that way, Lee, and probably always will be. The plus side is lime is bloody cheap. Not that that's much of a plus side, but at least it's cheap. And if you ever play with precision farming, it's even worse. Probably 3 times as bad. Wouldn't you say, Sharko? Like precision farming, I mean, it takes a lot of lime on base game, but precision farming probably 3 times as much lime to do a field the first time. I don't believe def is really a thing in the game. Like, I've never seen any requirement to buy or use it. I mean, I know it's a real thing in the real world, of course, but in game, it's still not a thing. Loma Linda, California. Over here, it's been getting to... It's about mid-20s, mid to low 20s. 24 overnight. During the day, it creeps up to about 48, 50. And then drops back down overnight, of course. Yeah, they announced that from the very beginning, Lifehawk, that they... I think they rolled out precision farming in FS19 just to begin doing some play testing for FS22. So it will be coming again. I was really against doing the precision farming thing. I just thought it was like some kind of cliche garbage that they were adding to the game that didn't really make a lot of sense to me. And then once I played it, I was like, yeah, this isn't so bad. I kind of like it. Again, 3,000 hours on a game. You're probably looking for anything that changes it up a little bit. So, yeah. Oh, I've got a cousin, Sharku, who accidentally put... It was either diesel in his def tank or def in his diesel tank. I can't remember which. All I know is the insurance paid to buy him a new engine. Because that don't work. Honestly, Lifehawk, we do not plan that far ahead. I mean, we did some work on Elmcreek yesterday. The three of us jumped on for a little bit to catch some stuff up, and by the time we were done, we had installed 3 new mods. And there were mods we hadn't even considered until our playthrough or playtime yesterday. So we're a little bit spontaneous in that regard, and if we do, it's that's the kind of game changing or altering type of mod that we wouldn't do until we started a new series. Although we have already talked about where are we going after Elmcreek, and I think we already know, but we'll see. Not going to say anything yet, but I think we know where we're going after Elmcreek. So Gary, while you're still here, man, let me ask you. And again, this is my casual playtime, and I keep working. It's not really work per se, but you know what I mean. Anyway, Gary, so your computer's up and running now. You were one of our raffle winners. Don't forget to let us know when you're ready to jump on and join us for a stream, man. You earned it. You deserve it. And we had a good time with Bradley last Sunday. Didn't you guys think that was good? It's we're not doing anything special. We're not gonna make fun of you. We're not gonna um, we're just gonna bring you on and make you part of the crew, and we're gonna get to work and do our jobs and have some chat during the streams. But let us know when you're ready. I think I actually did know that, Bruce. Deaf is really kind of an odd substance. And for those who don't know, DEF stands for diesel exhaust fluid. Whatever good that knowledge does you. Hey, no worries, Gare. No worries at all. I mean, even if you wanted help relearning the game, we'd be more than happy to walk you through it during the stream, too. You know. But do whatever's comfortable for you. I don't want to force the issue or anything. And I know you well enough. I think at this point you've been in enough streams that you're not going to let me do that anyway. But you know what I mean, man. Oh, finally done with the wheat. This should keep my my flour factory going for a while. And I am just distributing, or not distributing, but selling. I was delivering for a while. Yeah, wasn't that nice, Bruce? And I was really impressed with Bradley and how he handled that. Some people would get really nervous and everything, and he was just like totally laid back, and it was an enjoyable time. It really was for everybody. Once the stream ended, he hung around for another hour and a half, and helped us do what we needed to get done, and just had some good conversation with him. Oh, enhanced vehicle mod. Okay, Eric. Yeah, I've never pushed toward that level of realism. I'll put it that way. I know a lot of people are super hyper realistic players. I have never gone that direction personally, but Whatever works, play. It's your game, play it your bloody way. Dirty Bird. There's a worldwide shortage of deaf. There's a worldwide shortage of a lot of things. I would say that probably the most dramatic shortage in the world right now is common sense. Oh, wait, did I say that out loud? Alright, so somewhere around 175,000 liters of wheat. On the right, you will see my lovely, lovely cotton. Oh, not like that, you won't. These are my lovely cotton fields right over here. That vast, vast green landscape there is going to be cotton at some point. I'm going into the tailoring business. Okay, nice, Gary. It's really not that bad. Once you get field prep down, there's really not that much more that's that dramatically different from FS19. Blinker fluid. When I used to work in a pizza restaurant, one of my very first jobs, we'd get new people in, and of course you have to teach them. Whoa, I caught up on something there. You'd have to teach them how to stretch dough and fill a pizza pan so you could make a pizza out of it, right? And always, every time, new person, they would rip a hole in the dough. You could count on it. And of course, once you've done it, no big deal. You just pinch it back together and close it up and move on. New people, you always told them, go in the walk-in on the shelf on the left, go get the dough patch. It won't take but a second, but we need dough patch to get it taken care of. They'd be in there for 15 minutes looking for dough patch. Yep. Because we were stupid kids. And we liked picking on other stupid kids. Oh, and here's my many, many, many bale snakes. I've done way too many bales since this game came out. Way too many. I actually got... this was kind of funny, actually. And Lifehawk would get a kick out of this. I got an achievement. I'm going to pull that up real quick. The achievement is called That's a Wrap. Only 1% of players have the achievement. And the quote under it is, "What's in the bale?" And the reason I say Lifehawk will get a kick out of this is because that's actually sort of a movie quote. What's in the box? What's in the box? But it's what's in the bale. Okay. And I did promise Lifehawk that I would show him this at some point. So he was asking about these wrapped bales. Hey, Yotes, how are you doing? So when you do these long bales, and people are like, well, how do you transport this? Well, the way you transport it is you go down the line. Once they're done fermenting, you cut the bales open. You take the wrap off of them, and then they become transportable bales. Until you do this, you can't do a bloody thing with them. Nothing will move them. So I've got a couple silage bales at this point, and I'm storing them up until January. But now I can bring my bale trailer and load it up and get these out of the way. That's all there is to it. That's right. I love 7. I love 7 as much as I hated it the first time I saw it. I didn't hate it. I loved the movie, but when I got done watching 7 for the first time, I literally wanted to beat the crap out of somebody. Just beat them to a pulp. It was that frustrating. Time to make straw bales. Ugh. Nope, just crack them open. No, you've got to wait for them to ferment. They'll sit there and ferment as long as they need to, and then once they're done, you just take the wrap off. And it's actually interesting because if you bring in a grass bale and put it next to one of the, like a big grass bale, and put it next to one of those silage bales, the size difference is dramatic. They shrink a lot, apparently. Not yet, Eric. There wasn't, to be fair, there wasn't dynamite in FS19 either, but there was a map maker who created it. So maybe we'll still get dynamite in FS22. Are you rolling too cool? See, this big field here on my left, I think is going to become my placeables area. That's one thing I think with productions map makers need to take into consideration is you need to have placeable areas where you can put your productions. I've yet to see that. And No Man's Land doesn't count because it's one big placeable area. But, you know, the guys who actually create fields, have pre-planned fields, they need to make sure to include some placeable area. Thank you, Sharko, for posting that again. The GoFundMe that Sharko is posting is to help out Farming Sins, who's been a follower of Harv's World for a long time. His wife has been diagnosed with cancer, and they are struggling at the moment, so she created a GoFundMe to help out the family. Even if you can't help financially, spread the word, pass that link around. The more people who see it, obviously, the better chance there is that they'll get the help that they need. Well, I'm already using the baler for... okay, I've got two reasons for that. First, I'm already using the baler to make silage bales, which I kind of like. I like doing it. It's different. Anybody can, and I've done it many, many times, bunker silos, blah, 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 blah. But now, standard silos only have so much room. Before, in FS19, it used to be, if your silo had 1,000,000 liters of space, it was 1,000,000 liters per item in the silo. Well, it's not like that in 22. If your silo has 1,000,000 liters of space, that's total. All crops included. So if I put 1,000,000 liters of straw in my silo, I don't have room for anything else. So I don't really want to put straw in my silo. And I don't really want to do the cliche forage wagon I've just done too much of that in the past, and you got to change things up. That's why I've started using the Anderson bale, the sausage bale wrapper. Something different, keep things interesting for me. Trust me, if it's not interesting for me, it's not going to be interesting for you guys. Although that case harvester really puts out some wide straw swaths. I will say that I am very much looking forward to GTX, who was a great modder in 19. He's done a couple things so far. Coming out with one of his bale storage barns for FS22. He had great bale storage barns in FS19, and I hope he brings them over because they really make a difference. And don't underestimate the power of the straw in FS22 either. I think the last time I sold my straw bales, I made $120,000. No exaggeration. Oh, so you have the collect straw emissions mod, Eric. So you're doing the straw bales. Any new interesting factoids from work? Good question, too cool. Well, let's see. The big to do at work this week has to do with how bad has the drought hit the forage fields. That's what we had to determine at work this week. And what I mean by forage fields is any field where cattle ranchers bring their cattle to forage. And the distinction is between irrigated and non-irrigated. And usually it's native, so it's whatever's growing on that particular rangeland. A lot of cattle ranchers or sheep ranchers, either or, which there's a good amount, both in Nevada, they lease land or have grazing permits. That's what it's called, grazing permits, from the Bureau of either the Bureau of Land Management or the United States Forest Service, depending on which land is controlled by which agency. Anyway, they can bring their livestock there to graze. However, Nevada and California, because we do actually cover part of California too, has been hit by drought so hard for the last 2 years that the grazing obviously is not going to be as good as it has been in the past. We needed to know or make a determination based on certain surveys, not quite the right word, but studies done by professionals about how bad that grazing was going to be affected by drought this year. And it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. And the reason that we need to know is because we administer programs that provide compensation to people when they do not have access to the grazing that they should or would normally have access to. Robert, yes, actually they do. It's different from FS19, so it's not like you go in and sell them like you could in 19. It's actually, isn't it just, let me take a look real quick. If I go into my menu right here, construction, this demolish button, if I click demolish, then I can come over and look at anything that I don't want. And if it turns red when you mouse over it, that means you can demolish it. That doesn't mean you'll get any money for it. Like in 19, you could just sell it and make a little extra cash. It's not like that in 22. But as long as it turns red when you mouse over it with the demolish button selected, then you can get rid of it. Is everybody up on their forage losses now? As strange as it seems, it actually is important information. At least to do what we do. That's more than a couple straw bales there. And I haven't even hit the big field yet. Forage. 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 If somebody says they're taking their livestock out to forage, it means that they're taking them out to feed on generally native grasses. Although it could be crop stubble, crop residue. A lot of times farmers, once they've harvested their crop, will allow ranchers to bring their cattle in or whatever livestock to eat what's left over after harvest. I think it's a combination of both, to be honest, Eric. It's very much a combination of both things. I think they're honest companies who wouldn't normally take an... Okay, that's not true. Not completely true. Companies are going to take advantage of whatever financial situation they can to bolster their sales. That's just the world that we live in. But the pandemic is making that far, far worse. Right, Sharko? I can jump into a voice channel if that would make it easier for you, man. I'm going to have to step away for a minute here in just a few seconds anyway. Because I'm at a banquet. I've got to go to the fridge. And Mother Nature and I need to have a chat too. That's a very fair point too, Bruce. Price gouging. But see, it's, price gouging is when there's a hurricane and all of a sudden your local gas station sets the gas price from $2.50 a gallon to $7 a gallon. Because they know that the supply is going to be limited. And there's no reason for them to charge $7 a gallon other than they know they can get it because everybody's panicking over the hurricane. But what these companies are doing are being very sneaky about it. At least that would be my take on it. They're being sneaky and doing it a little bit at a time. But to be fair, inflation is just outrageous right now. Inflation is the worst it's been in, 50 years? Inflation coupled with supply chain shortages or the slowdown in the supply chain. It's the perfect storm of crap for the American consumer. And nobody wants to do anything about it except point fingers at somebody else. And that's enough politics for Harv's World. That's sort of the general idea. It's more actually it's almost more about setting the limits. So if somebody comes to you and says, okay, for example, let's say the Bureau of Land Management gives somebody a grazing permit, right? And somebody comes to you and says, I've lost 90% of the grazing on this grazing permit. But this week we determined that based on, and this is scientific information, mind you, this is not just us guessing. The drought's been bad, but all things indicate that only 50% of grazing has been lost in that area. Then to some degree it helps farmers that we know how much grazing has been lost in an area. It will be beneficial, but it also helps us know when somebody's trying to take us for a ride. So it's a combination of things. It sets limits and boundaries. Because somebody might come to you and say, I lost 55% of my grazing in this area, and we say, well, that's your estimate, but what we've determined is that you actually lost 75%. They're going to get a little bigger boost than what they normally would have. And while they're out on the range every day feeding their cattle at the same time, they don't see all of the conditions. They just see the conditions that are closest to them. As I like to joke around and say, the federal government making things difficult since 1776. There is nothing simple about these programs that we administer. Nothing at all. Tyler, do I have any real life farming experience? No, sir, I do not. However, I do work in administration of farm programs for the federal government. I know many farmers. I grew up with farmers in my family. I have driven a tractor a few times. And honestly, most of what I know about farming comes from playing this game. As silly as that might sound, playing Farm Sim really piqued my interest in farming in general. And so I I started learning everything that I could. That's kind of one of the reasons I did the World Tour series, um, to learn about different farming around the world. Like, oddly enough, I can tell you that France has 18 million bloody cows. And know that to be true. 18 million cows in France. France is known as the breadbasket of the European Union because they're one of the biggest producers of virtually everything in Europe. And not just watching farm sim videos when I started out, but that got me watching real farmer videos. Like, one guy that I watched for a while was 10th generation dairyman, and I was fascinated to find out that making silage in the real world is not that much different from making it in Farming Simulator. So that's my experience. That's more than a couple of cows, yeah. Tyler, holy cow. 18 million cows in France. Holy cow. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more than that in the U.S. Pretty sure. French is famous for toast. Escargot, too. Which reminds me of the old joke, and I'm sure I've told this before, and it's ridiculous, so forgive me, but I still think it's gives me kind of a chuckle. A snail walks into a car dealership. He wants to buy a Lamborghini. He puts the money on the table. The salesman says, "Sir, that's fantastic. Is there any special request you have before we order your car?" The snail says, "I want a big S. The letter S painted on both doors." The salesman says, "Sure, we can do that, no problem. Happy to have the letter S painted on the doors." The snail says, "I want the letter S painted on the trunk, and I want it painted on the hood where people can see it." Salesman says, "Sure, absolutely. We'll put the letter S anywhere you want it." Snail says, "I want it on the roof too, in case anybody's flying over, they can see that letter S also." Salesman says, "Absolutely, sir. Absolutely, Mr. Snail. We'll get that S on there for you. But I hope you don't mind if I ask." Um, that's right, Atomic. That's right. Why do you want the letter S all over your car? And the snail looks at him and says, "Because wherever I go, I want people to stop and say, 'Look at that S car go.'" Hey, Sober, how are you doing? Canada has 12.2 million cattle. 98.3% of those owned by Charcot and family. To answer your question too, cool. Sometimes, so it actually it really, I mean, and I'm not joking when I say the federal government making things difficult. Um, so it gets broken down sometimes, depending on the program and the situation, into animal units and animal unit months. So, for example, a beef cow would equal 1 animal unit, but a dairy cow would equal 1.3 animal units, but a sheep would be 0.5 animal units, where a chicken would be 0.1 animal unit. And it's determining acreage carrying capacity. So, how many animal units can an acre of this land provide feed for a month? Yep, it gets crazy complex calculations to make these determinations. Oh, that's fair, Yotes. And in real life, you wouldn't put multiple crops in the same silo. In fact, I'm pretty sure there might even be mods that have come over to FS22 that don't allow you to put multiple crops in the same silo. You have to have an individual silo for each crop you harvest. Well, hello, Cocos. How are you? Nice to have you drop in for casual impromptu chilling with Harv on Friday night. Harv and banquets. More cattle than people in Alberta. No wonder Canadians are so nice. They talk to cows all day. Oh my god, I actually get to talk to a human? I better be nice. Sorry, I couldn't resist. We have an amazing Canadian following. So they're all very good natured, and I'm sure they don't mind if I pick on them occasionally, because God knows they pick on me. I am not driving the straightest lines to harvest this, but I don't really care. Slovenia. I don't think you're the first person we've had in stream from Slovenia, but it's good to have you with us. I'm from the United States. Many people in chat right now are from Canada, but we do get followers from all over the world. Australia, England. You all know each other. You all know when somebody is being rude. Yep. Oh, I understand. Yeah, that's a good point, Yokes. Yeah. As long as it has separate chambers in it or whatever. Or separate silos, like it's a silo complex almost. I mean, there are silo complexes where you get multiple bins in FS22 already. Not quite as detailed maybe as you're thinking, but for an American farm they definitely are. Where you could imagine corn going to this bin and wheat going to this bin and soybeans in this one, and never the twain shall meet. You get an amber alert when Sharko comes close by, huh? Wouldn't that be a Sharko alert? I mean, amber alerts are kind of specific. I'd hate to think, I was being alerted that a child had been kidnapped just because Sharko was nearby. Oh, what am I thinking? Yeah, like let me look here real quick. So yeah, like this Unia silo has four different silos built into it. It's 800,000 liters. You could easily assume that your grains are getting sorted into 4 different areas. Even the small Unia has 2. Here's a Herrero complex, massive one. I'm pretty sure this is a mod that I installed, but it's got 8 and holds 16 million liters. Of course, you got to have real money to buy that one, but still. Fair HB, welcome to Casual Friday Night Stream. Harv chilling, playing his own game, and just chit-chatting with you fine folks. And actually, I wish we could get workers to follow windrows. That would be, if somebody can mod a worker helper that can just follow a windrow, that would be amazing. For forage wagons or balers. Because then I could put a helper on this and have them bailing while I go have my little chat with Mother Nature. Because I can't do that, unfortunately, the best I can do for you guys is to put on a little bit of mood music. Let's see if I can find something that's worth a darn. Probably not, it's all YouTube crap, but that's all I can play on here. Well, let's see. All right, guys. I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, enough of that garbage. Sorry to make you sit through that. Oh, anyway, I feel much, much better. And me and Adolphus Coors have had a very, very, very important chat, as did Mother Nature and I. And yes, Des Bunny, I am still around. I just had to step away for a minute. I mean, I've been on for over 2 hours. I'd like to get these bloody straw bales done. And I'm not targeting my windrows very well. How are you doing, Des Bunny? Good to have you with us. Thank you for dropping in. Very much appreciate it. Yeah, we're sort of alive. It's a Friday night. It's casual Friday. And that doesn't mean you get to wear jeans to the office. That means we just hang, have the occasional adult beverage, and chit-chat about anything you guys find interesting. And we entertain Too Cool as he drives across Texas. I really hope he's just listening and not watching. I really do, actually. It makes me kind of nervous thinking about what he might be doing in that truck of his. 22 more to go. 22. Good God, man. I hope you don't mean 22 more banquets, because that'd be the end of Harv. That would be the end. Yes, Des Bunny, I do live in Nevada. That's absolutely true. I was mentioning earlier that at night it's dropping down into the mid-20s, about 24, anywhere from 22 to 24 degrees, but during the day it gets up to between about 48 and 52. So it's pretty chilly in the mornings when I get up to go to work, but by the time I go home for the day, I don't even need a jacket. And that's purely relative. Just because, you know, it's 106 here in the summertime, so weather hasn't been bad. And actually, December brought in a lot of moisture that's going to help our drought significantly, but only if we get more moisture here February and March. If we don't get much more, the drought's just going to come right back, and we're going to be kicked in the butt one more time this year. So pray for rain. Oh, Banquet Light, very nice. I'm not a fan. I like the full flavored. Lights have never really done it for me. I like to go all the way. I understand why people do, but I can't go that route. Although I'm not one of those guys who has to dive into microbrews either. I don't need to pay $10 for a 6-pack in order to enjoy my my relaxation technique, if you will. Oh, okay, Gary, I see. Gotcha. Banquet Light, yeah. Yep. They're silver cans instead of the gold ones, right? 0 degrees. No, thank you. I've been in that weather. I grew up in that weather, and when I was a truck driver, there was a time when my truck froze up. It was 30 below zero with a 75 below wind chill factor. That was a nasty night, let me tell you. Nobody was enjoying their time that night. I thought that's what he meant. Too cool. -1 in Northeast Ohio. Eric, if you live in Northeast Ohio, you probably live close to a cousin of mine. She lives up in that neck of the woods. Just don't ask me what town, because I don't remember off the top of my head, but I do have a cousin that lives in Northeast Ohio. You know, it'd be really funny is I don't know her husband's name. It'd be really funny if Eric was married to my cousin, and that's who I've been talking to this whole time, and that would just crack me up. Yeah, he meant Coors Light. I thought so. Man. Apparently the banquets are doing me right, because man, I'm not doing a good job of harvesting this straw at all. I'm missing these windrows like crazy. Actually, it's because I'm paying more attention to chat than my driving, but we'll blame it on the banquets. -1. Ugh, I don't miss that weather at all. Oh, sober. I have been in your neck of the woods sober. I think I was telling folks the other day. I don't know if you were in stream or not, but when I was in college, I was a band geek in marching band, and our marching band got invited to play opening day Buffalo Bills versus the Minnesota Vikings in Buffalo. So I've been up in your neck of the woods. Niagara Falls. We went up to Niagara after that. You know, we can't just go work. The university had to make sure we had some playtime too. So we went to Niagara Falls after that. $29 too cool. What are you gonna do? You might actually have to wear pants instead of shorts, man. OMFG. You can't sit by the pool? Your wife can't wear her bikini? Dude, your life is practically coming to an end. Yeah, I figured, Eric, you were getting a lot of that. Oh, man. There I go again. Totally off track. I'm a little bit curious to see how many straw bales I'm going to get off of this. Yeah, I don't know who won the game, but I do remember being on the sidelines at halftime. Just before halftime, we're on the sidelines with the players. It was pretty freaking cool, I have to admit. I'm not even a sports guy, and I knew how cool it was. Small world, right? We all come together to watch some virtual farming, and all of a sudden, we're finding ways we're connected to each other. In small ways, anyway. Oh, yeah, good turns there, Harv. Be glad I'm not driving Too Cool's truck right now. I can't even bale straw properly. There's a couple bales, Sharko. Like yesterday. We did a couple bales yesterday. That's what I was talking about earlier, you know. Friday nights are just me playing my map for my fun, and it's more about just chatting with you guys than anything else. I don't have to plan entertainment. I don't have to make sure that there's the right things to do during the stream, that sort of stuff. But one of the things we did for prep for stream on Sunday is we just did a whole bunch of grass work on Wednesday, and I said, no, we can't do grass work 2 times in a row. There's no way. So we jumped on and took care of all the grass work. And we've all got a bunch more bales now because of it. But you guys didn't want to watch all that garbage again. That's Stephen Wright. Yes. It's a small world, but I wouldn't want to paint it. Absolutely. I say absolutely a lot. Now, there's a movie quote. I would be very impressed if somebody could tell me where it comes from, and don't frickin' Google it. Even you, Lifehawk, I would be impressed if you knew where that one came from off the top of your head. Absolutely. Oh, and I was just watching an old 80s movies last night. It's what I do when I go to bed. I lay down and just put on a movie to relax before I go to sleep. And it was an old movie that I used to enjoy back in the 80s. I was like, I haven't checked that out in a long time. I'll check it out again. And there's a quote from it that I quote all the time, and I had forgotten where I got it from. And it's very simple. It's, I like it. You guys probably haven't heard me say that on stream or anything, but yes, that was very much something I used to say frequently. After about 3, it's the it's the banquet's drug. Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably very true. No, I'm sure that's true, and I can tell you it's been more than 3. Luckily, there's nobody within 1,000 yards of me, so, and I'm only doing 17 kilometers per hour. And I'm not harvesting anything. You know, harvesters are one of the most dangerous pieces of equipment on farms. More farmers have lost limbs to harvesters than just about any other piece of equipment. And anything with a PTO on it. PTOs are very, very dangerous. Nope, definitely wasn't Harry Potter. Sherko's town, he was just telling us all the facts he learned about his town because I was talking to him about a movie that I watched about the electricity battle between Thomas Edison and Westinghouse. And he started looking it up. And his town was the first town to have electric street lamps, and they were powered by the Thomas Edison Electric Company. Because Westinghouse and Edison were going city to city trying to get these cities to buy into their version of electricity. One of them was doing DC current, the other was doing AC current. And apparently, Sharko's town bought into Edison instead of Westinghouse. Yotes, you just hit on one of my favorite movies. I'm not going to say all of those, but Better Off Dead, talk about a sleeper classic hilarious comedy. I love that movie. Oh my god. I've never heard anybody mention it ever before. So kudos to you, my friend. I loved Better Off Dead. I want my $2. I want my $2. Oh, anybody else as sick of straw as I am? I almost wish it weren't worth as much money as it is, because I would just plow it under. Almost done. Peterborough still looks like 1896 is what powers it. See how those people from Toronto talk about you, Sharko. Well, apparently Toronto's not even part of Canada. That's what I keep hearing from the Canadians. Toronto isn't even part of Canada. It's really an American city hidden behind the Canadian border. That's what I keep hearing. But that's just me. Yes, Yotes. I was thinking that quote myself. This mountain is pure snow. I want to know whatever happened to the girl that was his girlfriend that broke up with him in that movie. Whatever happened to her? You don't really see her in too much. Although she was the girlfriend of Brad in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Brad was going to break up with his girlfriend, and then he decided he couldn't. He needed her, and she decided to break up with him and use the same speech on him that he was going to use on her to break up. Alright, I'm sick of straw. A couple little scrub pieces here. No, I'm not even close to being able to get another full bale out of this, so what's the point? Toronto, see, that's what I'm talking about. Toronto is an American wannabe. The blonde girl, Yotes? Oh, I liked his French girlfriend much better, but I'm more partial to brunettes anyway. Nah, Eric. Phoebe Cates was Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but she wasn't in Better Off Dead. But Phoebe Cates does have one of the classic scenes ever filmed in a movie. Ever. And those of us who grew up in that time period know what I'm talking about. Alright, that's enough of this crap. Get those straw bales out of here. Collect this bloody straw and be done. I'm usually really anal retentive about this stuff, and tonight I'm just like, screw it. That's enough. I'm going to grab my bale trailer and rock on. Drop the baler right over here by the repair shop. Oh yeah, the French girl. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that French girl was a knockout. The blonde girl was just eh. But the guy who played John Cusack's friend, the guy from Risky Business with Tom Cruise, I can't remember his name now. He was in a lot of stuff. Harv? Thank you. He was in a lot of stuff. Moonlighting was one that I remember him from a lot. But yeah, he was Curtis Armstrong. That's his name, Curtis Armstrong. He was hilarious back in the day. Great comedic actor. Alright, luckily, I got this bale trailer now. And it's going to make my bale collecting life much simpler. Toronto has the busiest highway in the world. Well, yeah. As long as you're counting caribou, of course it does. The blonde girl did the entire, wow. Oh, one of the best parts of Better Off Dead is his mother trying to cook. And the junk he would come up with. Or the junk she would come up with and serve to them at dinner time. Wasn't there one that, like, literally walked off the plate? Like, slithered away? Oh, really? Really? I missed that little pittance of a bale. Thank God auto load bale trailers came to FS quickly. Honestly, how many of you guys have manually loaded a bale trailer? Come on, thank you. It's brutal. And even the physics in FS22, which I will admit are far superior to what they were in 19, it's still brutal. Yeah, that was that green blob stuff, yeah. Dude, now you're going to make me want to go back and watch that movie again. As stupid as it is, you're going to make me want to go back and watch that movie again. Although, to be fair, I think John Cusack is actually a very underrated actor. He's pretty... 16 Candles. But he's had serious roles, too, where he's done a very, very good job. Yeah, I've done it with super strength. I'm talking about bale forks and the whole 9 yards. I've done it a couple times, way back in the early days. Yep, that's one full bale trailer. 32 bales at 9,000 liters apiece. You guys do the math on that. I'm not gonna. Well, that's a lot of frickin' straw, though. And yeah, I do have a place. Actually, you know what? This is what I need to do. There's nothing going to get planted in July anyway. So we're going to get back to tomorrow morning. I will go back and watch that again. There we go. Top of the morning to you. I use my yard for silage bales, but I use this extra area over here for straw bales. Once this cotton crop comes in, I'm gonna merge all of these fields over here too, because it's pretty much going to be perpetual cotton. Push these bales out, drop them off, and head back and get some mow. And anybody who doesn't know, this auto load bale trailer is on ModHub. It is the Ponge Pack, Ponge, I believe, was the name of it. And it's actually very well done. Good God, look at all those bales. This is just stupid. Thank God I bought the Fent 1050, really. Wow, I circled that whole bale and didn't even come close to picking it up. Maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe the need for accuracy and coming close to your bales makes up for the auto load feature of it. Now what a bunch of crap, Harv. Maybe. Maybe I didn't want to turn on the daylight. Maybe I needed to stay nighttime. Because I'm Batman. Load number 2. Straw is ridiculous. Good for me, though. Three times 9, 18. No, 27. It's like almost 300,000 liters of straw per trailer load here. So far I've gotten about 590,000 liters of straw. Oh, there it is. Oh, I see. 288. Yeah. 288,000 liters of straw per trailer load. Crazy talk. Come on, Fant. Move it. And I'm going to have real close to 3 full trailers off of this. Can you imagine how long this would take manually loading each and every one of these? I don't even want to think about it. I mean, I try to stick to a level of realism that is not ridiculously tedious, but manually loading these bales would be ridiculously tedious. Tell me I'm wrong. Seriously. I don't think I am. That's it. One more and we're done. Done. These fields are complete. Halla frickin' Luya. Atomic. So you're telling me you just harvested over 1,000,000 liters of oats. And that's just the oats. 1.1 million liters of oats. And now you've got to collect the straw. So that's 1.1 million liters of oats. That's like 7 million liters of straw. I'm not sure. Well, no, it's totally worth it, but Michael Villafana, welcome to Harv's World. Glad to have you with us. Welcome from Nevada. That's where Harv's broadcasting from, if you want to call it that. Broadcasting. Yeah, we're broadcasting. What the heck? Streaming from Nevada. Good to have you with us, man. I don't know how much longer we're going to be going. Probably not much longer, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, stacking bales. Whew. It's just, I think the real issue, I don't even think it's a gameplay issue as much as it is depth perception. You don't get good depth perception. As good as 3D is in games, you still don't have depth perception. And that is such an important factor in how we maneuver in the real world. And it's just not there in 3D yet. That's exactly how I am, Bruce. I like the simulation, but I need a manageable level of realism. If it becomes realism to the level where everything is so incredibly tedious, it takes me 8 hours to do a job. And I'm talking real-time hours here. Okay, if it even takes an hour to do a job, that just becomes tedious, and it's a fun killer. So it's balancing simulation and that level of realism with keeping the fun factor, in my opinion. Well, VR might be there, Sharko, but I'm not ready to go out and spend that kind of cash on VR just yet. I need to check on my animals. 65 sheep. They still have plenty of feed. I'll throw a few more grass bales at them when they come around. And they are producing wool like crazy. And yep, I'm not going to move these with pallet forks. I'm going to move them by hand. You numbskulls in broadcasting. Yeah, well, you know, it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it, Eric, right? And same with my eggs. I load my eggs by hand, too. Why? Because doing it with pallet forks is far too tedious. And you know, farm sim eggs never spoil, so I could load this trailer like 17 pallets high and nobody would ever care. Although I do like how they're all brown eggs too. Oh, there we go. FS22 doesn't support VR, so even if you did have the money, you still couldn't. Yeah, okay. Mo from the Three Stooges. Quiet, you numbskulls. Michael Villafana. It is... What time is it here for me? It's probably 11. Yep, 11. 11 p.m. Yeah, well, that's absolutely true, Bruce. I mean, pallets, bales, they're kind of the same thing when you really get down to it. Ready Player One was a lot of fun. Talk about throwbacks. And look at all these bloody bales I have. If I had to move all these by hand, I would just strangle myself. Literally. I don't think that's actually too far from the truth either. Not far at all. Alright, guys. Well, it's late. Parents, do you know where your farmers are? I accomplished a lot. At least I got all my wheat harvested. Send it over to the factory. That's what's really important, right? I guess. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on this map. I'll be honest with you. I might start looking for something new. And I'm always open to suggestions. Yes, Lifehawk, that's the Ponge pack. Dust Bunny, the super strength I'm using comes from one of two different sources. One of them is the Lumberjack mod, which gives you quick access with the Alt key on a keyboard. The other one is a mod, and I'm struggling to think of the name right now, Power Tools, that gives developers or content creators a few options for helping them prep their videos and whatnot. But it is what it is. And yeah, Ponge was the trailer pack, absolutely. Well, anybody who follows the streams on a regular basis knows that the music is playing, and that means that we're about to call it a night. It's been a good one, though. You guys are awesome. It's nice to have you folks to hang out with when I just want to play some casual, have somebody to chat with. So catch us on Sunday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back on Elmcreek with Sharko and Caveman. As always, I very much appreciate you coming along for the ride. And until next time, take care.